Monday, December 7th. So thank you all for joining me. Thank you for tuning in to the live stream. I'm just going to get the chat up and running on the other computer. So I am back to my live streaming schedule now that my exam is over for my CMT exam. So shout out to everybody that participated in that. I know there's Gustavo that I connected with on on Twitter. He also took the exam on Saturday. And it was interesting what he said happened. And his exam was a little different than mine. And so it's interesting. Different things come up on different exams. That's the beauty of having over 600 questions in the testing pool of exams. So let me go back again to the chat. Sorry about the delay. We're going to look at some amazing moves today. Finally, gold is moving. Silver is moving. You guys have heard me talk about this for quite a while now. Hey, Asif. Hi, Kawakawa. Mahalo. Hi, Mark. Hi, Dea. Hello, Bad Scientist. Hola, Guillermo. Yes, let's do this. So let's look at the chart for the SPY today. So we are setting almost that new high again today, 369.85. That was not today. That was yesterday's trading day, Friday, right? So are we going to find that we have a bit more of a curl down here? Will we come all the way back down to 367.50? That might be something that we see in the future. We might come all the way back down to 366. I do want to show you all amazing software. So I am going to recommend that you guys try this out, of course, because I love it. I have it up on one of my screens. This is one that I do use in conjunction with the dark pool prints, and it is amazing. Hold on, let me just grab the link for you guys because it is awesome. I love this. Okay, so let me pull it up. Oh, I'm gonna have to close it over here and pull it up over here. So bear with me, we'll open it up in the background. And it is Flow Trade. So I'm getting myself confused with different computers and different screens and different mice and stuff like that. All right, so we'll let it open up in the background there. And 600 questions. Yeah, no, but the exam was not 600 questions, Asif. The exam was 132, 12 of which are sample questions that they just throw on there to see how people respond that they might put into other exams later. So let's look at the SPY. All right, so we're coming up and we seem to have 2 days. Right now we are just in the middle of the day. We might see that this is going to pull back down further, maybe back down to 367.50. Maybe. We will see on that one. How helpful was your CMT book and how helpful were your years of experience? The CMT book, I learned a lot of information. I mean, this covers, I don't have it with me, but it covers Dow theory, it covers charting, it covers indicators, it covers economic viewpoints, economic theory, bonds, how influential that the Fed is. And Ned Davis, who comes out with his stats of the market, says the number one rule, do not fight the Fed. All right, Kyle, yes, we will add on SE and ZTS. So Kyle knows, and some other people here, if you are new to watching the live stream, if you have a stock that you'd like me to look over, please let me know. I will add it to the list. Otherwise, we're going to go over the list that I do create every morning. I do offer on my website, cjanetrade.com. And the annual is going to be on sale, roughly 30% off all the way through Christmas. So check that out. 10 stocks, 20 trade setups for you to potentially trade. So actually 22, because I also now do the SPY and the Qs. So I said, hey, for the SPY today, if this breaks above here, 369, watch for potential trade, nice 60 cent trade to the upside. That can be amazing if you're into trading options. The SPY options are the most liquid around the world, as well as the Qs, right? The Qs, which originally were the only ETF index ETF that was up today. Everything else was down. So it's kind of interesting, kind of makes sense if lockdowns are going to be happening again, that maybe the Qs will be increasing in value. Maybe we'll see some money flow out of the Russell into the Qs again. So keeping that on watch. And I also mentioned we are going to look at Apple and Tesla. So let's look at, so the Qs right now, to me, it kind of feels like the Qs are lying. I don't know if John is here, but he was messaging, hey, those Qs not listening, right? Apple that had what looked like a rounded top right here. This megaphone, I drew this line here from these tops, and look at how it's really respecting it. I think it's so cool how the trend lines respect themselves. Will this be a super bullish engulfing day, or is this going to be, hey, this is a pop and potential drop? Let's go and look at flow trade. All right, let me go and put in let me open it up and then continue. All right, we'll continue over here. So we've got Apple really strong with the Qs. Let's also check out Microsoft. Microsoft looked like it might have been a rounded top as well. And Microsoft on, this is not looking bullish, right? We also have Amazon as well. Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, top 30% of the Qs ETF. Now I do have a position, I started my position at 31.57. I added on this day as well, so I'm at roughly my break-even entry. However, it's at the bottom, came down and hit the 20 simple moving average and bounced. We are like, there's a lot of congestion with the different moving averages there. So looking to see where we end up today. Is this going to be a scenario where Apple breaks down below over here? I have 31.45 really as my, hey, if we close below this, I'm going to get out. I'm going to look and see where this trend line is at the end of the day and see if I'm going to get out from there. We have a box of what looked like consolidation to me, however, could have been disbursement if we go below it of right over here, right? So if we draw this down here, come down just a little bit, right there. So that was we don't usually see Amazon trade sideways. Big indication to me. Then we came and I drew this trend line here, upper resistance trend line. Are we going to break above it? 32.20 was really a resistance. So watching that, if we can rebound and come up here, I think we're likely going to see 32.80 as a potential resistance point, and then on up to 33.60. Those are my targets to the upside. So I'm being cautious. I'm waiting to see a little bit of downside to take $130 to $200 to the upside. I'm being patient, right? This is risk reward management. All right, let's look at Tesla. I never got back into Tesla. I got out at 576 over here. Looked as if it was going to pull back further. I should have gotten in here. And again, yeah, my target is still up here at 684. But I'm very thankful that I did get into gold. So let's check out gold, because gold has really, we came down here. We had a nice reversal candlestick pattern. It started to come up. We're finally coming up. We're testing this resistance over here. But more importantly, looking at the gold movement, right? Looking at the futures. You guys have heard me talk about this before. I said if we break above 18, if we break this downward trend, which we really need to close above today, right? It shows it on the shorter time frame over here on the right. We are above it. If we can go above this, look at where the volume came in too. Right on that candlestick when we broke out above it. That's at 9:45 that we really broke above. The futures are really moving to the upside. My target again is roughly $750 up above here. So, or 780. So we'll be looking at roughly 2,400 for gold. Not tomorrow, in the longer term time frame based on a long term cup and handle for gold. So I am liking gold. I will likely add more to my gold position. And you know, could always buy a Tesla, if not some more shares of Tesla with that. All right, let's look at Boeing. So Boeing today had an upgrade announcement. Sometimes when we have upgrade announcements that we see that later in the day, it ends up to be a red day. Oh yeah, ASF, definitely futures. Okay, so here's what's going on. This is why I love flow trade. These are 15-minute charts, right? And I did put the link in the chat. I will put it in the comments below as well. The flow trade will show you the movement of the price, right? So right now the price is going up. What's happening to the yellow and green line right here? I'm going to wait and let you guys answer. All right, anybody answering? I don't see any answers yet. There is a divergence right now. Yes, guys, that's right. So there is selling pressure coming in on the algos, right? And the algo is the yellow and green line. While the price is going up, this is classic manipulation of price action, right? The algorithm is selling. So we see that the algorithm has pretty much been selling ever since December 1st for the SPY. Dow Jones, it looks like roughly the first as well. Qs, roughly the first as well. And look at how dramatic this is now. We're hitting these highs and maybe they're going to say, oh, you know what? The vaccine's coming out early. We've got this, we've got that. And all these tech stocks are going to drop. Maybe there's going to be more of a rotation into the Russell. Let's look at Apple as well here. So you guys can try this out for free for 7 days. If you want to do a one-on-one with someone, Dan at Flow Trade, just email Dan at Flow Trade and say, hey, yeah, you know, I saw Airplane Jane talking about this on her live stream. And I'd love to set up a one-on-one session. They will help you with that. Plus, they have a lot of awesome videos over here where you can learn about it. But this is what caught my eye, right? You see all of this selling that's been happening back since December 1st. So it's the patience set up, waiting for those trades to really come to fruition. I know that there's someone that is watching TTCF. So let me check and see if there's anything going on with TTCF. And right now, it looks like maybe there's a little bit of selling pressure that's coming into that. Also, let's check on Boeing, because I did mention that Boeing had an upgrade, and Boeing, we might see that Boeing with this upgrade has a red day to it. So the Boeing looks like we had a little pop over here, and now it's sort of coming back down to that selling motion. So let's go back to the chart, right? So Boeing on the daily is a little extended away from the moving averages. We've got my 425 EMA in here. Really, hey, this might be a make it or break it. And will this move happen where it's going to break out above? Or this is going to, oh, I wanted the daily chart, excuse me. Let's go on this one. So will this break above, or is this going to end up closing down below 238.30? If we close below 238.30, might be heading back down. I would look for a support of roughly 224 right here on the chart. All right, let's check out Myrna as well. So Myrna, hey, guess what? We have better than expected results. The market liked it, and it's moving to the upside. So you guys know I did mention I do have my watch list. It is on sale, and you can see it right here. Let me see. Oh, those are other images. So I said, hey, if this breaks above 157, yep, nice $5 move to the upside. Pfizer as well had a nice move to the upside. This is following the upward trend. Earlier today, it was below this trend line. I was skeptical that this was going to be a nice long trade. In fact, on the shorter term time frame, it did have a drawback earlier today. Came back down. Here we are. Today's trading session. That it did draw down to the 50 simple moving average on the 15-minute chart and then shot up. Right? So you can see that this sort of stuff happens. What was going on with the volume? It was dropping. Then all of a sudden broke above this level right here. High volume came in and then it pulled back and shot up further. Let's make it easier to see. It's all fine and dandy until you can actually see it, right? So the higher volume, it tested the 4080, sold off, and then surged higher, right? Look at how that really held as that ceiling. Fuel cell as well today, didn't do much so far. A little bit of a short. BlackBerry, I know someone that was really looking at BlackBerry saying, hey, check this out. Amazing movement happening with this. In my opinion, I would like to buy it back down here at $6. I don't want to necessarily overpay for a stock. You know, you can be picky. We've got an M formation right here. That's not looking very bullish to me, right? It's overextended from the moving averages. 787 would be better to me than buying it up at $9. Sure enough, we hit the $9 mark and it pulled back. G-Tech, yeah, I'll add G-Tech on there for you. Hinok. And we have NEO. I know, got a friend in NEO looking at it, was saying, oh my goodness, I want to trade this and have it run to the moon when we were having this downward trend. Today is a crucial day, in my opinion. We have this downward trend right here, and right now we're up above it. Are we going to close above it? We're still below these moving averages. We did find support on 41 right now. So are we going to see that this, let's do this as well. Let's add on a little fib right here. 61, almost testing that right now. If we go all the way back down here, we might see this comes all the way back down to 36.23 before any sort of move to the upside. At that point in time, we might also have the 50 simple moving average right there. So I would look roughly for 63.23, and it might also coincidentally happen here with the different with the downward trend here. Jude, what are you curious about as far as these sectors? Yeah, you know what, bad scientist, the market is irrational, right? Momentum traders getting into the market now are moving on those gapping stocks, and many of those stocks tend to have a nice couple day run. NEO, you can see right here, did follow a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pattern, A, B, C. Is this the end of that C? Is this going to be another upward wave for Elliott wave theory? Might be, or it might be some more selling that happens getting stuck on these moving averages. The 20 simple is starting to flatten out as well, and the faster EMAs are already curling over. XPEV came down. We are below the 20 simple moving average now on our 24-hour candlestick. Had a nice bounce off of that support of 44.50. A nice upward trade of off of $48 up to 51. Now, when I do my trade setups every single morning, I will say longs and shorts. That doesn't mean you only have to trade it to the long side or to the short side. That simply means that the pre-market momentum was either to the long side or the short side, right? So when we see this happen, hey, this looked like it was going to be a potential short, but here was our resistance. Sure enough, it broke above. Nice long trade. Same thing with Lee, and also, NEO and Lee. So even though they tend to be down on the day or down, this is an engulfing from Friday's price action, right? So we've taken out the price action from Friday. However, it also just came back to the moving averages. So will this be the precipice for a potential short entry, lower risk, right near the moving averages? Potentially. You could say, oh, let me, potentially get in here close to this trend line. Also the moving averages, maybe 33.25 would be that optimal short. And then if it breaks above, you get out quickly, right? It's all about risk management. ACB, another potential short on the list today, had a little bit of a downward price action below. The market is more long biased today. So many times when the algos are seeing that the rest of the market is up, usually there'll be more long trades in general in the market. When the market is down, there'll be more short trades. If you have time, look at Candy and NNDM. Yeah, I've got about 6 minutes left because I do have my ticker talk or live stream as well today. So Oxy, fuel, oil sector, petroleum, moving to the upside. Yes, broke 1826. Nice trade right up here. It's all about setting up the trade, sticking to the plan. This one had opportunities both directions today. SE. All right, C limits. So I have not had a trade on here set up in a while, but I would actually have looked at this and said, hey, 198.50 right there from pre-market, and probably would have put this all the way up here, roughly at 201.60. Hey, it broke down below 198.50. This has potential to come back down to 102.43. You don't see a clear picture in this period of this year. What do you think? You know what? Right now, Jude, have you ever been to equityclock.com to look and see what's going on in general with the markets this time of year? So when we go here, let me go to the second page, because the SPY S&P 500, it seems like people should actually trade the Russell more because it is 3,000 stocks as opposed to 500 stocks, but S&P tends to be stronger. So here's the S&P 500. So right now, in general, over the past 20 years, it tends to have a drawdown until roughly the middle of December. Doesn't mean that every single year that's going to happen. Some years are higher, some years are lower. But over the past 20 years, on average, it has pulled back until roughly the middle of the year. Have we seen that yet? No. Right? Remember, I also showed you this with flow trade. It's starting to look like they're selling. Maybe they're setting themselves up for that short opportunity, right? BA as well. Maybe they're setting themselves up for the short. Apple as well. Let's look at Apple. I also do this, Jude, on the weekends, and I talked about this as well yesterday on my live stream yesterday. So let's look at Apple. So what happens to Apple? A little bit of sideways price action. Yes, they had news about their microchip. However, it looks like maybe that's the gap up. Suck those shorts into buying the shares that potentially the big guys want to sell, and then boom. Maybe it's going to pull back until December 20th. I don't know, 2 weeks, like the middle of the month, maybe the 15th. And then it's going to shoot up from there. You know, maybe considering they're going to be shutting down California, how many people are going to be shopping, regular store sales, all of that sort of stuff might come into play. Hey, there hasn't been a formal lockdown yet, but maybe these really big guys in the market might know that. So another free tool for you guys is you go to the darkpools.com. There is a free trading room that does show you guys the dark pool prints that I do talk about. So you can use that as well, free, and you can come on over and check it out, and you'll hear me in there too. So let's look at ZTS. Don't worry, I didn't forget about you, Dea. I will check it out. Just trying to get it all in before I have to switch on over at 12:45. All right, so ZOTUS, ZTS. So ZTS came up, hit this simple exponential moving average up here, and looks like that wanted to be our resistance. Now, this has been in a downward trend, came back, volume came in, right? Volume at the bottom will be indicative of that reversal. Second day, not a lower low. Okay, that means maybe this downward trend is done. And if we're able to take out this day with a close above a high of 159, there's a good chance that this will be reversing right here, so that we had higher volume and reversing and slowly curling up above the moving averages. But right now, this is in a downward trend. Will this be the absolute bottom down here at 156? Almost looks like a triple bottom on the shorter time frame. However, you might have said that over here too, and then it failed. So keep it on watch. It also looks like a bit of a rectangle right here. So my eye sees. So, you know, like a nice consolidation range. Now we're up above it, so that volume right there, but that's simply a 15-minute chart. So it's not that influential, as opposed to potentially looking over here and also seeing this channel. Do you guys see this? All right, that's what I see over there on the daily chart as well. that, hey, maybe this has pulled back. Yeah, my pleasure, Jude. All right. If you like it, hit that like and subscribe button, guys, so that when you want to know when I go live, you will get the notifications. Okay, so G-Tech. Looks like it's really, okay, so average volume is 4 million shares, and today it's had 48 million. Likely a low float. I don't know who shouted this out. Henak. Is this a low float stock? It looks like it, and the prior high was 10 over here. 10 is also a round number that really sticks with people in their brains. Let's make this one bigger. Nice, ASIF. All right, let's go to a weekly chart. And look at that, it's hitting a former resistance. So if it breaks above over here, there's a really good chance it could, yep, MTETs, the dark pools.com. There you go, it's in the chat. So just copy and paste that into your web browser. So this might be exploding higher if it does close above this former high of 1058. Otherwise, this has a big gap down to the downside and might have a pullback down to the bottom. Yeah, my pleasure, MTETs. All right, DEA. Didn't forget about you, KNDI. All right, let's go here. Let's go to daily. All right, so KNDI, almost taking out this candlestick, hit the 20 simple moving average over here on the daily chart, 15 minutes. Hey, are we going to close above this 425? Not sure, right? But we have, it's starting to curl. We had all this sort of consolidation over here at the bottom, and now it's taken out. If we can close above $9, there's a good chance that this could be reversing to the upside. We have a bit of an island. We had an island trading down here, and it filled the gap to the low. So that gap has been filled many times. When you have an island trading period and the gap is filled, a reversal is in place. And let's look at, what's the other one? NNDM. All right, NNDM. This looks like it's almost, it's very gappy. So we have a gap over here, that like an island that needs to be filled here, and they've pretty much filled this one right here. It pulled back and it's bounced up. I don't know what it does, but nanotechnologies, looking to see where that big volume is as well. Biggest volume is back here. We're above that and we're above that. And we've had some volume spikes here and here, and it's starting to have some bigger volume coming in. I don't know why. This candlestick, I don't like this indecision long-legged doji right here. The selling pressure started coming into it, and potentially is this going to be the start of a downward trend, right? Let's do this. If we do that there, and it could come all the way up to 740, I'd like to see that confirmation that it breaks above 740. All right, last one, we're gonna look at Tnxp, and then I have to run to my Ticker Talker live stream. So Tnxp looks like a gap and crap today. So it gapped up. I have no idea if there was news or anything like that, but it looks like it was a massive short squeeze. Let's look at the 24-hour candlestick. Oh yeah, my pleasure, day. TNPX, massive run up. Let's go over here. I just switched it, so this is 24-hour and this is 5. So it's really set a new resistance level right here, roughly 86 cents. There was a support over here at roughly $1. Then once that dollar bottom gave out, boom, it came down, and now it looks as if there's support roughly at 80 cents. If that 80 gives out, watch out, it might be coming all the way back down to 70 cents all the way down here. All right. Have an amazing day, guys. I will see you all tomorrow morning at 7:15 for my yoga live stream if you'd like to join me. And as always, Carpe Profit sees those profits one trade at a time. If you all ever have any questions, please feel free to email me at jane@cjanetrade.com and check out my website. Some awesome information over there. Going to be doing more blog posts now that my studying is all done. So if you have a topic for a YouTube video or a blog post, please put it in the comments below or shoot it over on email.